Eurovision's organizers have responded to a letter from 26 members of European Parliament. They're calling for Israel to be excluded from the Eurovision Song Contest due to its ongoing assault on Palestine, just as Russia was excluded after the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. In their response, the EBU have essentially repeated what they've been saying since late 2023. They don't want to compare the conflicts. Russia's broadcaster was excluded because of their proximity to their government, and Israel's broadcaster shouldn't be compared because their government has been trying to shut the broadcaster down. It is true that there have been attempts by Israel's government to shut down the Israeli Public Broadcasting Corporation. In late 2024, a bill was introduced by Netanyahu's Likud party that aimed to privatize the broadcaster or shut it down if it couldn't find a buyer. After it passed its first reading, the EBU warned that it would almost certainly jeopardize Khan's membership. Ultimately, it was blocked by a senior member of the party, but other bills are still under review, including one that would put the broadcaster's finances in the control of the government, and another that would allow them to directly appoint members to the broadcaster's governing council. Now, the EBU has been leaning on this justification for some time, but if they insist that Khan's independence excuses them from being held to the same standard as Russia, can we say the same about other broadcasters? Take Azerbaijan, for example. Of all the countries that participate in the contest, Azerbaijan ranks the lowest on the Press Freedoms Index. On paper, ITV is independent, but they're still publicly funded, and you will never find any programming that's critical of the government on that network because it's not allowed on any media in Azerbaijan, public or private. You could also look at Serbia, where massive student-led protests have been disrupting public services for months. RTS has been widely criticized for underreporting on the demonstrations and for mischaracterizing them as violent to be in line with the government's messaging. Lastly, Russia's broadcaster has been criticized as a mouthpiece of the government for a long time. The EBU was tolerating that even after the country illegally annexed Crimea in 2014. The only thing that changed was that 10 broadcasters threatened to pull out of the 2022 contest in support of Ukraine, and then suddenly all these things mattered. And so independence does not mean that public broadcasters can't be used to further a government's agenda. This reasoning is simply weak. Israel's government clearly sees events like Eurovision as useful to their image. It's why last year, the president influenced the broadcaster to change the lyrics of the song so that it would be eligible. It's why the Ministry of Foreign Affairs poured money into a targeted voting campaign to help Israel get to second place in the televote. And it's why this year, a lot of emphasis will be put on their artist's survival story, to keep the focus on Israeli victims and off the tens of thousands of Palestinians that are still being killed.